We'll get back to AWS in the panel, and please welcome Tomáš Řehořek from Recombee. Tomáš will be showing us what Pavel Kordik should have been doing just now. Unfortunately, Pavel Kordik had to fly to Frankfurt for some JO AI event where he is today, sending images from the presentations that he's seeing about data lakes, about Destination Europe and other projects. So we have Tomáš Řehořek here to check how Pavel Kordik is bringing up new generations in his own company.
1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, thank
There
you
we
very
go.
much. So hello everybody. I'm Tomáš. I'm CTO and co-founder of Recombee. It's very emotional here. It's been like 10 years since I was last standing here in this room teaching fundamentals of artificial intelligence, even before it was cool. And yeah, exactly around that time, we founded a company, as Tomáš mentioned, basically in the same format, office at 13th floor. So it's obviously a good pattern to start a company. The 13th floor, if you ever think about starting a company, like here, the 13th floor, it's a good place. For us, like, we are not as big in Recombee as Datamol. Datamol, they have always been like, smarter and more successful twin brother, but we are now at like 50 people, so it's not a complete catastrophe. And yeah, so thanks very much for the invitation. So I will today very quickly tell you a few random facts about Recombee. Whatever should become interesting, I will continue to another slide because we don't have time. So how we started a company, the idea was like, okay, I was doing my doctoral research in recommender systems. So maybe start a company, maybe ever build like world recommender #1, like which will be global and perfect, and it's a good idea. And like, what's the go-to market strategy? It was like, I don't know. So maybe start coding. That's the next step, obviously. And it somehow worked. We created a website and we got some clients. So if anybody tells you like you need investment and you need sales guys, it's not always necessarily the case. So we bootstrapped with very simple and naive idea of being the universal recommender. About recommender systems, yeah, there are some like hoaxes, I would say. Sometimes it's good to address that when somebody talks about recommender system. Oh, it's like the Mark Zuckerberg who is spying on you, or it's like Chinese propaganda on TikTok, and it's like, I don't know, flat earth and closing you into bubbles, and products from e-commerce and online stores following you on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, no, yes, these use cases exist, but recommender systems are technology. It's a powerful technology, but it's not about like the technology itself that it's has a bad reputation. It's about the products and the use cases that utilize these systems. So in Recombee, what we are trying to do, it's a kind of good recommendation and personalization that is actually essential for certain online products. It's obvious that, for example, you cannot listen to like 50 million songs in an online platform. You need some system of navigating. So that's exactly what Recombee does. It recommends users in different portals the right content, being it songs, being it videos, being it real estate listings. Yeah, that's where we specialize. We are doing online media, being it video, audio, also online news publishers. Peer-to-peer marketplaces. These are all use cases or verticals where you can find Recombee powering these portals in behind in a way that you may not even know about it. And I named this presentation like AI at scale because, yeah, recommender systems, I believe many of you studied at the faculty here. You have some basic idea what recommender systems are and what is the AI behind them, and the algorithms. But what is specific about such a system is that we are basically operating the system in production in 24/7 fashion. So as of now, as I'm telling this sentence, it's very likely that we have served dozens or now maybe hundreds of thousands of recommendation requests. So the system must be running, and yeah, it's really about not just computing and evaluating the model for specific users in specific point in time, but it's also being able to do it at very high rates. Distribute the workload when there are large traffic spikes, then be able to handle them. So that's what I would say is maybe the most interesting about Recombee is actually the scalability that we operate the service as of today on 1,000 of physical servers in different continents, and these servers utilize a lot of resources. Talking about memory, talking about SSD space and stuff. So yeah, it's the little bit. It's a subset of Recombee architecture, how we distribute the data over a cluster, how to make sure the models are computed and the data is up to date, and maybe another interesting thing that you need to handle in recommender systems is the real-timeness in multiple ways. Not just being a real-time in terms of being able to handle particular requests and apply the model to specific context, specific user. It's also about being able to update incrementally the model itself. So, for example, yeah, it's not a good idea to compute a recommendation model for online news and compute, breaking news recommendations overnight. That's something you need to take into account in real time. So train the models incrementally, do incremental upgrades. It's really part of it, and also the expensive computations, which sometimes mean like iterating over large large arrays of numbers and stuff. It must be engineered very well, such that we are able to evaluate the model in less than 100 milliseconds. So that's something which is really the most challenging for us in Recombee, and it's about not just the AI research itself, even though we have quite a skillful research team, but it's also about the actual engineering. So engineering the research, as I say here, it's really a very important aspect, the computational complexity and stuff. And just to thank the faculty, we have Recombee Lab active here still up until today. This year, for example, we had 5 accepted papers on Rexis, so I'm really happy that we managed to maintain the collaboration with the faculty, such that we still produce research. And there's a broad portfolio of algorithms that I want to talk about, ranging from collaborative filtering, autoencoders, the LLMs, very popular today, transformers. That's something we just quite naturally utilize to understand the products, understand the content, being able to find patterns, and so that's like this is like 5-year-old picture what we did as student research. Online classifieds, meaning marketplace portal, being able to say that some items are similar just because of their semantics and what is on them. So that's what's inside the recommender system. I picked a few use cases to give you an idea. So one of them is AudioMac. All of these are our clients. So AudioMac, it's a large streaming application. These are just very nice guys. Had it in New York. They have 30 million monthly active users. They have a huge catalog of songs, and what Recombee is doing for them is just recommendation, whatever sort of recommendation you may think about. So discover pages, similar songs, similar artists, recommending at end of queue, and these guys operate in 200 countries. So we also do some onboarding recommendations, like when new user registers from specific country in the world, we should be also immediately able to recommend something which is relevant for them. So training geographically sensitive models. Then use case you may not be, that may be a little bit surprising, Grexy. It's an online marketplace for investors, real estate investors. So typically on the website, you purchase products like which cost a few $100. In these cases, you can invest into products which cost like $100 million in some extreme cases, but $1 million item is quite is not an exception. So we recommend opportunities for investment into buildings, actually commercial buildings. And we have to handle ad hoc queries, like we receive huge geopolygon with 10,000 points, and there are holes in it, and we have like a few hundred milliseconds to recommend the best listings for the user from the region. So yeah, that's also something where you can find recommendation. The Telegraph, the biggest British news publisher here. An interesting collaboration is with the human editorial team. So exactly like recommendations, does not have to be black box, does not have to close you into bubble and tell you that Earth is flat. Here in case of this client, we have like strong editorial control, and it's about human in the loop. So again, we recommend on multiple different places. And actually, Vojta Vančura, a scientist from our team, put there some scientific slide. Fortunately, no formulas. It's about sparse autoencoders, how we process the user behavior. Using these autoencoders, we are able to identify clusters in the content thanks to the user behavior, and using large language models, we are able to name these clusters. So these are like some topics that the users seem to be interested in, and we are able to name these clusters, and we are able to transfer it into analytics for a human editor, so they can see like what is trending, how the recommender behaves, whether it respects the journalistic mission, and whether something should not be recommended more or less. And so this is last slide, don't worry, Tomáš. It's about in-print. Here we do semantic search. So we have images, and we use multimodal LLMs and process these images, and then the user can just enter a search query, and we are able to find images that just match to this search query, even like without having the explicit token and full text matching. And again, it's about scaling. We have always have millions of images, and Donald Trump caricature. So like number 2, number 3 definitely does not state Donald Trump, and still it's able to identify it. So also it's not just recommendation, it's also search. And absolutely last slide, many others, would love to talk about them. It's all about traffic. DAZN, huge client, they have like whole country goes to a football match in 1 second. You have to handle the traffic, you have to generate the recommendations, 9gig, the platform for memes, or even Czech company Prima Plus, Zráci 2, there was a like famous TV show recently, and it's important to handle when the whole country comes watching. So these were like random sneak peeks into what Recombee is doing. Thank you very much for your attention. Sorry for being 2 minutes long. And
thank you, Tomáš.